There's another question from the audience. This deals with roads. Um, by the way, some of you have horrible handwriting. The word immediate has been used for repairing our roads. Where would you start? What funds would you use? What are your objectives for the first year in addressing this roads crisis?
Great. This is a topic that I've been researching a lot. There's a federal website. It's called build.gov/rural. And one of the things that the federal government is doing right now to alleviate some of the roadblocks that we have to actually upgrading our infrastructure are there's 100 new programs that do not have matching funding. So a lot of what we're facing in Amador County is that we can get one grant, but we don't have enough in reserve or enough other places to go and get the matching grants to create the full project. Because as Jamie mentioned at our last town hall, I think some of us have learned in our meetings with Rich Vela that they have done pavement assessments on our roads. They know exactly what's needed, but we're suffering from old equipment and we don't have enough staff. They cut the staff for essentially the roads department several years ago, and they've never boosted that back up. So I think that we should go after the infrastructure funding, and what that we need to do is make a list of priority projects. The federal government wants to see a list of priority projects in order to move this money to your county. There's also new flexibilities for waivers of matching requirements in all the programs, not just the 100 programs that don't have waivers. And there's a lot of money for energy, electricity, cybersecurity, bridges. We do have a few bridges in Amador County that need to be upgraded. There's a lot of set aside, and we're talking hundreds of billions of dollars. Now remember, when you talk about $1 billion, that's 999,000 million. Right? I think out of some of those hundreds of billions, there should be a few million for Amador County. If we have the vision and we write the project, we can get the funding. Thank you.
This is definitely a big issue in District 5. I understand that maintaining good roads and infrastructure is important to us all. Potholes have been an issue since before the stagecoach era. I also know that funding is critical and the county must go through budget steps to get the money. We have over 1,000 miles of roads in Amador County, and District 5 has the most county roads of the district. One of my priorities as a supervisor will take a fresh look at the current road plans. This will include reviewing the current plans and condition reports, and personally inspecting all of District 5 roads. It's time to step aside and let me get in there and see what we can get done. I'll review how the $25 million unspent from the Pine Grove Corridor Improvement Project will be allocated into District 5. I will work with my fellow supervisors to make sure District 5 is well represented to get the results. I want to sit down with SACOG and sit down at the table and consider it. That's the Sacramento Area Council of Government. SACOG allocates millions of dollars every year to fund transit, local streets and roads, highways, and bicycle and pedestrian paths in the region. And I'm curious, if we can't get it done within our public works, we need to be subbing out the work to our local contractors that can get it done. It's time for an open mind and some new ideas. Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry to inform one of the candidates that $25 million in the Pine Grove Corridor project is not in a pot. But what that money is years back, there was a Pine Grove Corridor Improvement Project. And it was slated to be at one time like 140 million. And then when I came in office, it was around 40 million at one point. And worked with another supervisor, and I worked hard on it. And we said, hey, part of the project was paving Highway 88 through Pine Grove. We said, why should we pave Highway 88 with dollars we can use in local county roads? So we worked real hard to get it reduced down, and it was a fight. People said, you hate Pine Grove, you don't like Pine Grove. I'm like, no, I understand you need a project at the Pine Grove School. I get that. But we don't need to be doing all this other just fluff stuff when that money goes towards our local roads. So through a lot of work, we got the project down to 15 million, and it's funded. Should go to construction 2023, and over time, that's going to save $25 million. So that's probably what was being referred to, but we don't have it in the pot right now. It was not an easy task to do. I took a lot of grief over it. But when you say $25 million, that's a lot of money. I think I did my job, and it wasn't easy. Also, I've been talking to our CAO about hiring a full-time, basically grant writer, somebody to go after federal funds, because it's going to be a very complex issue getting them. And it's going to be a lot of money floating around out there, and we're going to need somebody whose full-time mission is to go after those dollars. And also, I've been talking to Mr. Wise, because I know he knows a lot about federal funding. He has a lot of contacts, so he's going to be my best friend.
I think the question was, how are we going to immediately fix this?
I believe the phrase was the need was immediate.
Well, I will immediately work to hire a grant writer for the county. It's stunning to me that we actually don't have a grant writer in place already. So I agree with Brian on that move. I think there is a lot of money coming our way through the federal infrastructure program, and we need to be going after it. There's a lot of state funds as well that we need to be advocating for. The ACTC, Amador County Transportation Commission, is actually who did the study on our pavement in 2015. It's 7 years old now. When they did that, they went out to all of the roads within the county. There's 479 or 481 miles of county road, depending on whether or not you talk to the boss or the public works employees. And they did an assessment of the cracks, the asphalt. They have all this information now on where we should be prioritizing the repairs for the roads. And in 2015, they determined that we needed $6 million a year just to maintain the roads. And I've spent a lot of time looking at this portion of the budget. We have $11 million in the public works budget, but only about $2 million of that is unencumbered. The grants that we get for bridges, the grants that we get for the project in Pine Grove, a lot of those grants are coming to us for specific types of projects. So it's not money that you can necessarily just go out and use to fix your, potholes on Old Plymouth Sacramento Road. That would be great, but it's not unencumbered money. So when we talk about grants and projects like that, we have to realize that they come with strings that are attached to them. So finding the appropriate grants would certainly be great. At the end of the day, I think we also have to take a look at investing in our own infrastructure. Not a popular idea right now, I know that, but at some point in time, I think that we need to look to long-term solutions for our problems with our roads and not continue to try to fill up the problems that we have, fix the problems we have with grant funding that we may or may not qualify for.